Delighted to be joined on the Star Sport podcast now by Barry O'Donovan and Guilherme from the Bantry Jiu-Jitsu Club. After some brilliant events over the last few weeks in terms of the European Championship and other events as well. So yeah, lads, how are things with yourselves? I guess the club's at an all-time high now with the medals going to Bantry.
Big time, yeah. We're on a high at the moment, yeah. We've had a bunch of fighters that just fought in the European Championship last week in Portugal. We've had a team that came over from Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro, from the favelas. They're like hand-picked fighters that got sponsored by CEDA College to come over here and fight in the European tournament. And Guilherme kind of met them last year and hit it off with them and offered them a place to stay and a place to train. So they've been here for the last 6 weeks, training at our gym, pretty much training 3 times a day. And they headed over to Portugal with 2 fighters from our gym, and they pretty much cleaned up, didn't they?
Yeah. It was great. In Portugal, we had 3 gold medals and 1 bronze medal from there. One this guy who got a bronze medal, it's Carlos. He's from our gym. Since we start, he's training with us, so he's training for 2 years in total. He stopped many times, but he still, and he could bring for us our first European medals adult. So that was a brilliant result for us. The new gym, only 2 years, and we have a big
results, I suppose.
Result, yeah.
We've had a bunch of medals in the kids tournament before, a lot of silver medals, but we've never had a medal in the adult division before, so this is the first for us.
It's the first for us, so it was amazing. And now we are planning to go in more events. March, we have a Pan Championship in America. So we are planning to go to there with 3 fighters from Bantry. So we are preparing now, start a new schedule training for getting ready there and try bring that time 2 or 3 medals again.
It sounds like you're having the time of your lives at the moment with the success in the club at the moment, and getting the medals back from Portugal is an absolutely brilliant achievement. But going back to the very start of the Bantry Jiu-Jitsu Club, I cross over to you, Barry, first. How did the idea come about in getting Jiu-Jitsu to rise up in Bantry?
So I've got 4 daughters. 3 of them were training in America in a gym called Team Link in Framingham, Massachusetts. And my daughters all competed, and they were all pretty successful. And we moved back to Ireland about 2 years ago, and I was just researching, jiu-jitsu clubs near Bantry, and there was nothing. So I was pretty disappointed, thinking, all right, if I move back, I'm going to have to drive up to Cork City or something 2 or 3 nights a week, or else just forget about jiu-jitsu, which that was heartbreaking for me. It was the one thing that was kind of upsetting me about moving back to Ireland. Everything else was okay, but that one thing was driving me crazy. I couldn't figure out what to do. So my brother actually owns a nightclub in Bantry, and I just asked him, listen, is there any chance we could do a bit of jiu-jitsu on the dance floor in the nightclub? That's pretty much how it started. So I asked my coach in America, he's a world champion at blue belt. His name is Hudson Lee. He's a black belt now, but when he won the world title, he was a blue belt. And I just said, this is a bit crazy, but do you know anybody that would come and move to Bantry for a couple of months and just try coaching us and see if it takes off? But I kind of said, listen, it has to be somebody really good, because all the people that are going to be coming to the gym are all my friends' kids and my own kids, and don't just pick up some black belt off the street and send them over. It has to be somebody that somebody that we trust. So it took him a couple of months, but eventually he found Guilherme, who's his cousin, who's a brown belt and a super coach. He actually coached Hudson to win the world title at the time. And Guilherme came over and tried it out with his friend Pericles, who's another black belt. And the 2 guys came over for 3 months to try things out. We offered free classes for 3 months. And boom, here we are 2 years later with 70 or 80 members, loads of All-Ireland champions, tons of European silver medals, bronze medals. And now finally an adult from the gym has won a bronze medal as well, which is huge for us. Like,
And
so
for, and for,
onwards and upwards.
and for yourself, Guilherme, like, how did you get into jiu-jitsu in the first place? What made you so, what made you fall so in love with the sport?
So I always in my life I liked all kind of sports. And my cousin Hudson, I start training because of him. He started training when he was child, and he invited me to train most of the times in his garage. And I was only doing sparring with him. I didn't know about jiu-jitsu. Only try get him better to go for competitions. And then we start a project in Brazil in the church. And I was be part in that church and start training properly jiu-jitsu there when I was 17 years old. So since then, I never stopped. Stopped sometimes because of some hurts, that stuff. But always I had a contact with jiu-jitsu since I started, and now I'm here coaching jiu-jitsu. That was one dream because, like I tell to Hudson, everyone, I feel I'm better coach than fighter. So I prefer teaching and go coaching to everyone than I prefer going fighting. Uh, and After this, when Hudson tell me, "Oh, I have one project. Maybe you open the gym in Ireland. Do you wanna go?" I say, "Yeah, could maybe, yeah, but I need you next month." And I say, "Wow, really?" Yeah. And then I brought my tickets like 30 days. Say, "Oh, I'm going to Ireland. Tell bye to my family, to everyone, and move to Ireland." Since then, I'm here for 2 years already.
And for yourself, Barry, because you were kind of the mastermind in getting the club going in Bantry. What what do you think is so important in having jiu-jitsu a staple of West Cork sport?
Um, I suppose, look, there's tons of sports here. There's hurling, football, rugby, basketball, all those sports. But for me, jiu-jitsu, especially for me, because I don't have any sons, and for me, my daughters to be able to look after themselves it's been very important in how I've brought them up. So I just figured that them being able to mind themselves was on top of my list as far as sports went. Like, they all play rugby and soccer and that kind of stuff, but I won't say I pushed them into jiu-jitsu, but I just wanted them to do it as young kids, and they just all loved it, and they all love competing, and they've all won medals. In America, they won the Boston Open in NAGA, which is North American Grappling Association. Two of them won that, and another one of the girls got a bronze medal in that as well. So they loved it, and for me, if they love doing it, I'm going to let them keep doing it. And as far as self-defense, I think, I've done a lot of boxing, MMA, a lot of different types of martial arts, and for me, jiu-jitsu is the best for self-defense. It's way over anything else I've ever done. It blows my mind. So, to try and make a living out of it on top of that is just a dream. Like, so, just hoping to keep going and keep growing. We're moving, hopefully, into a bigger space as well, probably by the summer. So it's going from strength to strength, and we're really picking up momentum now. And we've joined with George Santos Jiu Jitsu. And like I said, at the ADCC in Dublin on Saturday, George Santos's gym was number one gym in Ireland. So we're glad to be part of that as well.
And for yourself, Guilherme, what's the difference for yourself between actually fighting in jiu-jitsu as the fighter, obviously, and coaching people to fight?
Jesus, that's a big question because I like to compete as well, but I know I'm not that great fighter. I think to be a fighter, you have to have a good mental. You have to be ready for that. And I think always when I fight, I'm so nervous before the fight. I feel that pressure over me, and then I think because of that, I'm not that great fighter. And then instead of to be a coach for me it's better because I have a good eyes for specific positions, and then I can see only one thing there like nobody see, and I tell let's go doing this and this, and then the guys flowing better. So I think that difference for me make me a better coach than a better fighter.
He did win the All Ireland and brown belt all the same, though, so he's not bad either.
Yeah, I got some medals when I arrived here because only to show to everyone if I can, everybody can, of course. And now I try training the guys better to be better than me. If I get the 2 golds and 1 silver here, I expected the guys getting more and more and more. So my students now, if you get Joshua O'Connor, for example, he's 13 years old. He have like 14 medals already in 2 years training jiu-jitsu. So that's amazing for me. And I prefer being that part than competing.
And for yourself, Barry, like to have such a successful coach like the man beside you, Guilherme, to have so many medals coming back to your club, to have so much success in European championships, and now at adult level, did you expect the club to have so much success at this stage of its development?
I did really, yeah. I kind of knew, because I trained myself as well. I was training in America, and I won the Boston Open at blue belt before I moved back here. And I wouldn't consider myself a great fighter or anything, but it's just the coaching. They're world class. Hudson and his buddy Hector. Hector was also a blue belt world champion. They both won in Japan. I think they won multiple world champions. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, in Brazil and World Naga in America.
Yeah, so like you're talking world, the best in the world, like so. Mix that with the West Cork kind of toughness, and mix in the size of the lads around here and how strong they are, and rugby players and everything else. I kind of knew a little bit of training is going to take these guys to serious level, like and we're seeing it already. Like fellas are coming into the gym and their first night, we're like, this guy's a monster, like just a little bit of training from these guys in jiu-jitsu and they're already world class, like so I kind of had a feeling it was going to be successful. Yeah.
So I'm not believe in that like great success in that short time. Of course, I didn't know nothing about Ireland and about the people who live here. But when I came, that was one of my dream. Can go to the big events, can be part of the big team. And when I moved to here, I was planning this for 5 years. We arrived there in 5 years, bring our first big medal in the Wonders Grand Slam event in 5 years. So in the first year, we brought 9 medals for the European kids. Wonders the best kids event in the world. And this year, our second year, after 2 years, our first adult medal is a bronze. So that for me was very fast because we have another results. For example, we got a second place in Dublin Open teenagers. We got a second place in whole Cork event. The whole Count Cork here was second place by team. We got a 4th place in whole Ireland by team events, only with like 10 guys fighting. So to see how big the results for us in that short time for me was very quickly. I'm not expected that result for 2 years. I was waiting for that in 5 years.
A bit more ambitious than you, obviously.
Yeah.
And in terms of the medal winners in the European Championships recently in Portugal, could you tell me a bit about each medalist and their strengths and their weaknesses and what makes them such great fighters?
So the Brazilians, not only make questions if I understand, if what makes them great fighters.
Mm-hmm.
So the Brazilian guys, I believe, because they came from a hard part we have in Brazil, so it's tough to live there in Rio de Janeiro, the favelas. And I think the choice for them, it's like, or they make it going good, or they don't have where to go. That's the one thing. So They selling sweets in the streets, the beats to pay their tickets and come here for that opportunity. And then I think when they need that, they grab with the whole strength and try to do the best. That's one of the things. For us here, our first medal, Carlos brings. Carlos is a warrior. He whole his life he tells us histories, always trying to compete, doing something, working, got hurt, and then he was training, try getting prepared for that. So I think that kind of things when you have to do something, or when you are like have that warrior blood, like I found here in many people here in Ireland, so that make you champion. I think that's the way to go. And of course, and then I have to tell something good for me, when you have a good coach, it happened help you to arrive there, because sometimes you can see great fighters, but they kind of lose because their minds, or the coaches don't have that feeling about it. Thanks God, I was here, and Michel, the Brazilian black belt, who was here, he's like clinical. He was training everybody in details. Like even me, I'm learning a lot with that details things. He showed, no, it's wrong. And then I was looking, what is wrong? No, you are moving your hand like this. You should move like this. That's difference, and then can bring more champions for us now.
And like you've had so much success now, as a club. Is there any other future ambitions for the club to achieve? I know you've achieved so much already, but is there more hopes for the future of Bantry Jiu-Jitsu?
Oh yeah, it's a lot. This year, I'm planning two more big events for this year. One will be in America now in March, Penn Championship. It's like kind of third biggest event in the world, so it's bigger than the European. So that's the one event we are going. Hopefully, three or four fighters from Bantry. And May we have the European kids. I'm trying to go there, bring the gold that time. We'll be in Rome in May. And in November, the World Pro in Abu Dhabi. A World Championship, one of the biggest events in the world, will be in Abu Dhabi. And we'll try to go there with 5 or 6 fighters from Bantry. That's for this year. Next year, we have 2 more World Championships in America, Brasileiro in Brazil. So we have other big events to go. But for this year, Pan European Kids and World Pro for kids and adults in Abu Dhabi.
That's some serious hopes, and the way Guilherme explained the future hopes of the club there, Barry, it just epitomises where the club, how the club has risen in just over a year. To be honest,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I suppose another part of why it's been so successful is Guilherme has classes every night of the week. You know, a lot of gyms do one night a week or 2 nights a week. But with us, if you want to train at 6 o'clock in the morning, Guilherme will be down there at 5:30 with the gym open, and he does one-on-one classes if you want to do that. It's not just, we're not doing it just for the money. We're doing it to make champions, basically. And he's doing everything he can. Like every hour of the day, it's jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu. He's doing fitness classes. We have a little gym in the upstairs part, you know, where you can come in and do fitness, you know, strength and conditioning and all that stuff with him. He's excellent at that as well. So we've got fighters that are doing 14 training sessions a week. You know, they're training 6 o'clock in the morning. They might do 2 classes in the afternoon, class at night. You can train as much as you want with us, basically. We're full time. It's not just an hour or 2 a week. It's, if you want to train, be a champion, you can do it with us. And that's been the case from the very start. You know, obviously we were losing money for a long time at the start, doing free classes for 3 months and then doing, you know, 3 classes per night, 5 nights a week, with 1 or 2 students coming to the classes. But those students were getting almost one-on-one training from a world-class coach. So they just got so good so quick that the first time we went to a tournament up in Cork, the Cork City Circuit, I think we came second overall of all the gyms that entered that tournament, and that's against like the big gyms like SBG, which is Conor McGregor, John Kavanagh's gym, FM Cork, MMA Cork, all these massive gyms with 300 or 400 students. We went up and blitzed the first competition. We were blown away.
Yeah.
So I knew that day that this is something special. Like, this is different.
And if anybody, if you want to, if you want more members, or if you want people to know more about Bantry Jiu-Jitsu, where can people find you on social media or on websites?
Go ahead.
Okay, we have our Instagram for Honor Ireland. You can follow us there. Have the website, the forhonorie.com. I think I have to make sure about the website, but the main way will be in the Instagram for Honor Ireland. You can text me there asking about the class. You can see the many videos. We have videos of our classes, photos of tournaments, and all that kind of stuff. The Instagram will be the easier way to find us.
Like, all along, we focused much more on the jiu-jitsu side of it than the marketing side of it. Like, one of the guys from the gym came to us after about a year, and he goes like, do you guys even have a website yet? And I said, no, because we've got enough students for now. We don't want to go crazy and have 100 kids screaming, running around in circles. Like, that's not what we're about. So he's like, I'll make you a little website if you want. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But, we're not there yet. We're still concentrating on the guys that we have, giving them the best service that we can, and making sure that they get, the best training without flooding classes with tons and tons of students. That's not where we're at. We do have a beginner's class. Every night there's a beginner's class from 5 to 6, and then the advanced kids classes from 6 to 7, and then the adult classes from 7 to 8. And then after that, we, kickboxing classes and Muay Thai classes and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we haven't yet started trying to market it very well. Just we're happy enough with the people that we have right now. Growing slowly is by word of mouth. That's kind of what we want to do.
Well, there's a load of medals going back to your club. You did so well in the European Championships. The success is it's breeding so far in Bantry Jiu-Jitsu. Guilherme, Barry, thanks for coming on to the Star Sport podcast today. Best wishes for everything in your club in the next year or so. And yeah, West Cork Jiu-Jitsu is on a high.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.